What's up, guys? We are here with what's more than likely going to be a late night upload, and today it's my quarterfinal match for Smogon World Cup. We're done with the preliminary round, basically round 1, which is where I played 3 matches, and now we're into where we're actually playing set teams. So my team is matched up against Team Canada right now, and I'm actually first blood, or first one to play, because me and FLCL are the first matches done in World Cup. So he is on Team Canada. I'm of course representing Team US East, and let's get into the match. Now, when I first saw his team, I noticed that I can really punch through it with my Talonflame. He does have his own Talonflame, but it's more likely not going to be a speed tie because I'm Jolly. But not only am I Jolly, I'm running a lot more speed than a normal Jolly Talonflame. Most of them are Adamant, but if they do run Jolly, they run just enough speed for Thunderous. But I'm running way more speed than that, so it's more than likely not going to be a speed tie. So my game plan is weaken his Mons, so that way I can sweep him with Talonflame and punch holes through his team with Heracross. So he leads off with his Landers, I lead off with my Azumarill. Based on his team, this is more than likely Scarf Landers because he does have Ferrothorn, and the fact that he reveals Stealth Rock later on in the match, I know that this is definitely Scarf Landers. So my plan right here is just to go right for the Aqua Jet, just to get off about 34%. That way he would not be able to take a +1 Brave Bird from my Talonflame. He knows that he needs Landers for Talonflame, and because Talonflame is a huge threat to his team, so he's going to pull a hard switch into his Ferrothorn, which is basically a counter to my Azumarill, as now I'm just going to pull a switch into my Heracross, Mega Evolve as he gets up Stealth Rocks, and basically just start annihilating whatever comes in. He goes out to Mawile, gets off the Intimidate. That is not enough for Mega Heracross. I do a clean 89% with this close combat, and right here he makes a pretty good play. I could have went for close combat again, but I decided that Rock Blast would be better just in case he wants to switch out into Landorus or Latios or even Talonflame, though he can't switch out to Landorus because if he lets it get weakened, basically Talonflame does work to his team. But he makes a really aggressive, good play, predicts my Rock Blast right here, switches out into his Keldeo, which is good because he does have Mawile, which he can sack later and also get off and Intimidate. So I'm going to be forced to switch out. I do have a really nice check or ender counter to this Keldeo, which is my Latias, as he doesn't go in for the Scald. Based on the damage, I know that he is Choice Specs, so I'm going to go right for the Defog first, getting rid of these rocks as he predicts that, so he stays in and goes for the Scald again. This time he gets the burn, which is probably what he wanted, and I'm actually going to reveal that I do have the Recover, so I'm 2 attacks, Recover, Defog. So I'm going to go right for Recover as he ends up switching out to his Ferrothorn. Now right here, I could have switched directly into my Heracross or my Landorus, but I decided if I weaken this Ferrothorn, he doesn't have anything that can switch in to my Azumarill. So if I weaken Ferrothorn with HP Fire, while sacking my Latias in the process, I'd 1, be able to prevent rocks unless he continually spam them, and 2, I'd weaken his Ferrothorn for my Azumarill later on. That way I can knock it out with Knockoff. So that's going to be my game plan right here. Going to go right for the HP Fire. Going to do a hell of a lot to him as he is going to go for his rocks, and I'm just going to go right for the Defog. I'm not going to try and recover, stall him. I don't know what moveset he's running, as he actually reveals the knockoff on his Ferrothorn. It's funny because I'm actually running knockoff on my Ferrothorn too, so able to get rid of these rocks as I get the free switch into my Talonflame. Now, I don't know why Talonflame's sprite looks like this. It is glitched, but this is a monster, and he can't risk switching directly into his Landorus, because if he lets this thing get weakened, there's nothing stopping me from switching out and then going again for Brave Bird later on and sweeping his team. So he's forced to sack something. He's going to choose to sack his Mawile, which I believe is the correct play right here, getting off the Intimidate. Mawile, after getting annihilated by Mega Heracross, really wasn't going to be doing too much. This helped a lot that Mawile was let go so early. So now he's going to go out to his Talonflame. I have my Landorus, which can just come in. I'm running a lot of defense, I'm running max HP, and I also have Rock Slide, which is more reliable than Stone Edge. So he goes for the SD. I think that was sort of a misplay. He probably should have just went right for the Brave Bird, but he's able to switch out now into his Keldeo. I think the reason he went for SD was to prevent my rocks, because I went right for Rock Slide after I saw SD. I wasn't going to risk getting up rocks right there when he could potentially get 2 super high rolls and either weaken me a lot or knock me out. So I go right for Rock Slide. He's going to pull a switch into his Keldeo, and I'm free to switch out to my Sumeru. I am Assault Vest, so I can take this as he does not get a burn, and right here I am free to just go right for the Play Rough, because Play Rough plus Knockoff will be able to knock out his Ferrothorn, and he doesn't really have much that wants to come in on this Azumarill now that Ferrothorn has actually been 2-KO'd by the Knockoff in the following turn. So able to get rid of his Azumarill, as now he's going to pull a switch into his Talonflame. I'm going to switch right back out into my Landers because it is my main check. I basically, at Team Preview, I knew what I had to do to win. I know exactly what I have to do to win. I don't have to make very many predictions with my team because I was prepared enough for this battle. And he's the one that actually has to play aggressively, especially because he's in the back, down 5-4. So I'm going to pull the safe switch into my Landers, as his Brave Bird does nothing after Intimidate. And I'm free to go for my Stealth Rocks right here. I could have went for U-Turn just to keep up offensive momentum, but I believe Stealth Rocks are better because it forces in his Latios. It also gets off some damage on his Landers, and it makes him want to defog. So I'm going to pull the switch back out into my Azumarill, as he does go right for the Secret Sword. Now, him going for Secret Sword, he was expecting my Ferrothorn to want to come in. By him going for Secret Sword, I actually get a free switch into my Heracross, so I'm going to save my Azumarill. That way later on I can sack it to get a free switch into my Firebird. So that was basically my plan right there, because I know Mega Heracross can take Spec Secret Sword, and I'm going to go right for Close Combat, as he's basically forced to go out to Landers. Talonflame would die after Rocks. Latios is not going to appreciate this. It would do like 60 something%. So he goes out to Landers. I get off the Stealth Rock damage, and even though I am at -1, Close Combat will put him at a range where +1 Brave Bird will be able to knock him out. So I'm going to go right for that Close Combat, as unfortunately for him, I get a crit. Now that was probably devastating for him, because I guess at the end, you know, damage is damage, so he couldn't play Landers as recklessly. Well, he was already playing it safe to begin with, but all I needed was that Close Combat damage anyway to knock him out with Brave Bird from my Talonflame. But yeah, that crit was, you know, devastating. It was well timed. It sped up the game a lot, though he still has a really good chance of winning with his own Talonflame plus Keldeo. So I'm going to go out to my Ferrothorn, as he goes right for the Stone Edge, hoping to knock me out, hoping I would stay in. And I'm just going to hit him with a Gyro Ball. I did have knockoff, but I didn't want to go for it, just in case he basically decided to go out to his Keldeo or something. But either way, I'm going to switch out into my Landers. I could have went for Leech Seed right here, as he was more than likely going to roost, but I have no reason to risk it, as I do have Landers that can just come in. And I'm just going to go right for the safe Rock Slide, as he switches out into his Keldeo. Like I said, guys, I can be safe. I know what I have to do to win. You don't always have to predict in Pokemon. That's something that I think a lot of people, I think that's something, just going to pause, that's something that a lot of people don't understand. You don't have to predict in Pokemon to win the game, especially if you have a team that does well versus your opponents, and just a team that can switch in. So the reason I saved Azumarill, getting back to the game, sorry, was because Azumarill, basically, if I sack it to his Keldeo, I get a free switch into my Talonflame. So gonna sack my Azumarill right here, as my monster can just come out, this giant bird. It's really appropriate that it's actually bigger than all the other sprites, as I'm free to go right for the Brave Bird. I could have went for SD and actually just won the game right there, but like I said, no reason to risk it, as I'm able to knock him out. And now he's gonna go out to his Latios. I do not want to get hit with a Draco or Thunderbolt in. So I'm going to pull a switch into my Ferrothorn, as he does go for the defog, predicting me to switch. Good plan on his part. And now I'm basically free to just go for Leech Seed, as he is going to pull a switch into his Talonflame. So right here, I'm actually going to decide to pull the switch once again back out to my Landers, because it is my safest play. Though I could have at the same time just sacked my Heracross. But I think Landers, once again, was my safest play. I'm now back at full. He's Leech Seeded, so I did what I had to do. So he's going to go right for the Spec Scald. He's able to knock out my Mega Heracross on the switching, which is fine. I saved it. That way I can get another free switch into my Talonflame and click Brave Bird. So able to knock out his Keldeo, as now he's going to go out to his own Talonflame. Like I said before, I am Jolly Talonflame. I'm Sharp Beak. If you guys didn't know what item, I'm Sharp Beak, which boosts the power of flying type moves. And I'm Jolly. He could also be Jolly, but I'm running so much speed on this thing that I'm super confident that my Talonflame will be able to outspeed. And I felt like I didn't have to switch out to my Landers right here, just because I was at full HP. So even if he won a speed tie, I think I could have still won with my Ferrothorn plus Landers. But yeah, I'm going to go for Brave Bird right here, as I am going to be able to outspeed him and knock him out. And his last is his Latios, which all I got to do is go for the Brave Bird on this, and then finish it off with my Ferrothorn after that. So Brave Bird does a hell of a lot to him, as he is going to go right for the Draco, revealing to me that he most likely does not have the HP Fire, as he probably would have went for Side Shock or something, but he is able to knock me out, as now I just have Ferrothorn, which won't even be able to do anything because Life Orb damage is going to knock out Latios. So that was a good game, FLCL. You played really well. Like I said, I felt like even though he was the one making the plays, I was in control simply because I had switch-ins for what he did, and I knew what I had to do to win. I saved the zoom roll, that way I could sack it, that way Talonflame could come in. I saved Heracross, that way I could sack it, that way Talonflame could come in. So that was basically my game plan. I'm glad it worked out. Good game, bro. Looking forward to playing with Wolfpack with you next year. And yeah, guys, leave a like if you enjoyed. And if my team wins, we're going on to the semifinals. So until next time, guys, later. Actually, one more thing. Would you guys mind if I posted my other teammates' games? They're pretty good games, if I say so myself. I'm thinking about recording them, but of course it's up to you guys. I guess it's up to me in the end, but you know, I'm just asking. Okay, now I'm just talking. So yeah, guys, later.